Welcome back, you lovely people. Today we're going to have a look at last night's breakouts on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we're going to try and figure out what comes next. And then we're going to have a look at how Bitcoin and Ethereum are moving in relation to the altcoins and carry on the analysis that we started last week. So with Bitcoin to start with, it's a shame we didn't do a video yesterday because I had this trend line in here which I was drawing and watching, and you can see last night we had a really nice breakout. We're up for just over 4% today. At one point it was at 8%, and now we're just coming back in probably to test some sort of level around here and then up into our trend line. And it will be really interesting to see if we smash through that trend line or if we consolidate for a little bit there. But really nice to see, and for those that have stayed patient with Bitcoin over the past couple of weeks, then absolutely you're rewarded last night. And Ethereum has been super strong over the past week. From this point here, less than a week ago, Bitcoin was up as much as 42%. You can see that we had our failed breakout to the all-time high that we were watching here, and then we came back in to test our trend line which we were watching, and now we're back in this region. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens next. I have a line in here around 1392, and Ethereum is currently coming back in to test that line. So if we hold this line, let's call it 1400, and we resume upwards, then Ethereum looks extremely, extremely strong, and I'd suggest probably a really, really nice entry if Ethereum is strong over the rest of today. Chainlink, Polkadot, etc. are off a little bit. They're consolidating, which is very normal considering the massive moves we've had over the last week, and that aligns quite nicely with the picture that we were talking about last week. The money flows from Bitcoin to Ethereum into the altcoins. We certainly saw a big week for the altcoins. Now we're heading back round to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I would expect Bitcoin and Ethereum to potentially have a really strong week. And then potentially next week, you're going to see some explosive moves in the altcoins. And one reason why I say that is I've been watching this chart. Let me tidy it up slightly, but this is a Bitcoin dominance chart. So how dominant Bitcoin is in relation to all of the other cryptocurrencies. I want to draw your attention to these two channels. This one, which is in 2017, and I've cloned it over here, starting at about now. And you can see in 2017 that when we started, we had a couple of weeks of Bitcoin losing its dominance, and then Bitcoin recovering versus the altcoins for a couple of weeks, and then continuing to go downwards. And you see we've started exactly the same this time. So we've had a couple of weeks of the altcoins taking over, and now Bitcoin is recovering. And I would expect potentially over the rest of this week for Bitcoin to continue to come up in here, and then for the altcoins to take over again, and for us to start heading south. Now, all this means is the altcoins are moving faster than Bitcoin, because I'm expecting this to happen. So Bitcoin to become less dominant, even whilst Bitcoin is going to $296,000. So that tells you a story of how much we should expect the altcoins to start moving. Of course, they've started, but there are levels. And I think over the next couple of weeks, when you see the rotation back into the altcoins, you're going to see them really, really explode, potentially after a strong week for Bitcoin and Ethereum this week. And another way of showing that is the Bitwise charts, which are funds that track baskets of cryptocurrencies. And this is in 2017, at the beginning of 2017. You can see that Bitcoin was stronger than the altcoins Bitcoin is in orange and the altcoins are in blue. And then when we had a dip, the altcoins caught up and then really took over and started diverging from Bitcoin. And you can see Bitcoin is going up nearly 200% over a couple of months, but the Bitcoin is going up 50%, which is still a lot, and the altcoins are going up 200%. That's only over a couple of months. And looking at what is happening right now on a similar sort of time frame, starting from November, you can see Bitcoin started and had the gains at the beginning, and now as we've had a dip, the altcoins are catching up, and we've just crossed. And now over the next couple of weeks, I expect to see this sort of divergence where the altcoins really start running, starting with the likes of Chainlink and Polkadot, and then moving on to some of the smaller, more speculative coins. And finally, I just found this really interesting. One of the proxies of knowing that it's crypto season is how many people are searching for it on Google. It's fairly well documented, the charts of Bitcoin searches during the 2017 bull run. And what I found really interesting is countries such as Nigeria, Argentina, Colombia, and Chile are seeing all-time highs in Google searches of Bitcoin. You can see this is 2017, and we're just getting started in this bull run, and we're already passing the previous high. Same in all of these countries. Argentina and Nigeria absolutely smashing the all-time highs in search of Bitcoin searches. And why are we looking at these countries? That's because these countries are very much struggling with inflation. That's the reckless spending and money printing from their governments. And of course, the US, the UK, Europe are following a very similar path. So the population in these countries are looking for ways to protect their wealth, and they're turning to Bitcoin to do that. And you're going to see very soon, of course it's already starting, but you're going to see a rush of people and institutions from most countries in the world, because most countries are now following a similar reckless monetary policy, rushing into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a way to protect what they have. And of course, over the next 6 to 8 months, then there's great opportunities to increase your wealth as well. It's going to be an exciting week, and I really look forward to taking you through it.